Hello everybody, this is the training video for Success by Pro 1.37 or above. This is the beta version. So this video will be replaced in about a week to 10 days as we upgrade, and there will be a few different upgrades, but we've done a lot recently, and so I'm going to go over this so that you have at least the ability to use it properly. And please make suggestions, as you use it, because I am adding more and more to it. A couple of those little things I'm going to be telling you about right now that we're going to add. So, part of the reason to do beta test is, to get the feedback from everybody to make sure that we can improve the product. So, for right now on 1.37, this is what we have. We start out with the MAP tab. So MAP stands for Marketing Analysis Profile. So what you can do here is, if you're connected, a first connection that you have, somebody that you truly want to emulate, or your competitor, you can copy their link from LinkedIn, paste it in here, okay, and then put in a limit. I do not suggest you do more than 200 at a time. And then if you want to get the top groups of everybody that you were pulling in, then you would select this. Now, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that the software is going to first scan for a couple of hundred different profiles. Just go through the pages and scan and acquire the URLs and names. Then it's going to go back and it's going to open up each profile and pull in the groups that each of these people belong to, and then populate the top 20 here. So what this does is it gives you insight as to what the network of this person, as to where they're hanging out, which groups their network has that are the most popular. It'll match a group name if it matches in between the person's name and the groups themselves. Now, excuse me, but here's the top groups, and here's the groups from this individual. Okay, connections, groups name, top group name displays the top 20. So if you want to get these groups here, then select this. All right. I think what's really cool is that it will pull in the titles from the couple of hundred profiles of the different types of people that are connected. And so it gives you a quick insight as to what kind of people this person is marketing to. Okay, the top 5. And this is very important. Now, so here's another cool little feature, is that if you are working with a client and you say, look, I'll connect to a couple of your competitors, or I will connect to a few people that you want to emulate, then they send you a few links, or you just come up with them yourself, and you pop this information in here. What you can do then is you can save this information down here in a CSV file, and it will pull in what these top 5 are, and the top group names, connections name, and all this information, so that you can email it to the client and say, look, these are the types of people that your competitor is going after. These are the groups that they're hanging out in. This is, the top group and all of that stuff. Or whatever information you want to give them, you can modify that file before you email it to them, of course. And then you can say, would you like to acquire, these links, this data? Would you like to get these people? Would you just like to get the directors and the executives? Or would you like all of them? And of course, then you need to work out a price. And a lot of people ask me about prices. So the bottom line is whatever the market will bear. Whatever you can negotiate with them. Different market niches have different amounts of money. For instance, podcast people that are running podcasts that are at least semi-successful or they're off the ground, they're going to have more money overall than people that are in the MLM industry. And there's everybody in between. So, you just have to work it out and negotiate. Anyway, let's say you get the top groups, you do all this, and you come over to manage, and this is where you manage the data. Okay, so the connection will be right here. You can archive this connection, which I suggest you do. Okay, and you can then, you can acquire the data here. So once you archive this, then you click on it. All right, I can click on this one, this one, this one, whichever, and then it allows you to then select which one. So let's say that you've got 5 or 6 or maybe 10. In practice, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get several different links. All right, so if you're working with some MLM company and they would really want the connections of the top 10 distributors of their competitor, or they really want just huge marketing gurus that are in the healthcare space or whatever it is that they want, then you can go in and you can just select just the marketing people or all or whatever they want from multiple different types of people. So anyway, you can pull it all into here, and then you can select it and you can save. Okay, now what you're going to do after you archive this is you're going to probably go over to the merge tab, which I'll show you in a moment, and then you're going to merge it. You're going to put it all together. When you merge it, then what you're doing is you're taking these multiple files of connections and you're putting it all together. Okay, and it's going to dedupe it. So if you've got 10 different heavy hitters in the MLM healthcare industry, or 20 different podcast people and their connections on LinkedIn, which is entirely possible, then you need to put it all together in the merge and make sure you don't have any duplicates before you send it to that person. But briefly, I just wanted to show you this. This is a withdraw invites. If you are actively promoting yourself on LinkedIn and you're running invites from these people, which you would just select. If you wanted to invite these people yourself, then you would select and click invite, putting in your invite here. Now, what happens when you do that 30, 40 times and you've got hundreds of outstanding invites? Well, when you get too many, LinkedIn will stop allowing you from running invites. So you don't want that. So what you can do is you can select this either 14 or 30 days. All right. And the first time it's probably best to do 30 days, but then you might want to maintain it with 14 and just click this withdraw button and it will go in and wipe out all of those old invites. Very handy. Saves you about an hour of time. Okay, so that's what this is. This is how to select and save your data, and this is your connection archive. You've got the connection here. Click connection archive. It puts it down here. So we go over to the merge tab, and these archive connections show up here. All right, so what you want to do is you want to be able to accumulate this data and put it together from multiple links. All right, so if you've got 1 and you've got 2 and you've got 3, all right, let's just say it's just these 3 that you want. It could be a lot more. All right, if you just want to select one and delete it, you can do that, but typically what you're going to do is you're going to click merge. All right, and so it's going to merge this data. So you've got any specific types, all right, or all. Okay, so you do have to click this the first time to populate this down here. All right, so it's just really that simple. All you do is you just select the ones that you want that are archived and click merge, and then it'll pull all these in. And so it totals these top 5 from all of these different people. So if you've got 10 different people, could be authors, or could be MLM people, or whatever it is, whoever it is you're targeting for yourself or for others, and you pull them in, it's going to read out the top people. So if you only want to keep these directors, all right, then you would select just those, okay, and you can save the connections right here. All right, so whatever you drop down and whatever you select, and you save these connections, and then you've got the total connections in a CSV file to send to your client. All right, it's going to pull it up so you can save them right on your computer. So you can save groups here as well. All right, so both of these are valuable. All right, so some people, they don't really care about the groups so much, but they want the connections. There are going to be times when you could say, look, here's all of the different groups. You may just want to give this away as a freebie. Here's all the different groups that your target market is in. All right, and to show them the power of what you're doing. So anyway, this is how you do it, and this is how you collect, accumulate, manage, and merge and save the data. And then that data is valuable, and please do not think it's not. Some people are going to try to negotiate with you saying, well, how do I really know that those are customers of the person? Well, because typically in social networks, customers connect with you. Either they connected with you first or they connect with you after. I've had a lot of people that, they've heard about me and purchased my software, and then they connect with me. They specifically make it a point to connect with me on LinkedIn. Are all of them my customers? Of course not. Nobody expects all of these people in the data to be the customers, but many of them are. And in the case of fans, when you're talking about Instagram and you're talking about Twitter, where people have a social footprint, like a podcast or author, especially a podcast, or different coaches, or personal development coaches, for instance. Think about this. If you've got anyway, it's huge. The percentage is very high, but think about this for a moment. Let's say that you are an author of a personal development book, but you don't have much social footprint, and you're not sure how to market, and you look at the different costs out there, and you're looking at thousands of dollars to promote your book. Yeah, sure, you can do a few things here and there to help yourself out, which authors do. But what if you approach this author who's got this personal development book, and they're out there, they're selling a few copies or whatever, and maybe they're maybe they have some different speakerships going on, and maybe even a side job, but they're not sure what to do. There's a lot of people in that boat, and you go to them and you say, look, I have 50,000 fans of Anthony Robbins. Right here, I can show you how to connect with them and tell them all about your book. What's that going to be worth to them to promote their book? So anyway, don't think it's not valuable, because it truly is. And the answer is a few $100s, depending on who you're talking to. If you're talking to an author that has money, charge them $1,000. It's going to revolutionize their entire life. So think about that. Social autoresponder, basically in the group builder, we call this new connections. I'm relabeling it here, and will be eventually in the group builder. What I'm going to be doing is to add a feature very quickly, which will just go in and check every 30 to 40 minutes to see who has connected with you. And If you just set it up and click the play button in the future and make that selection, then every 30 to 40 minutes, then it will just log in, check to see the latest people that have accepted your connection request, and then bring them in and send them a message. All right, so it's going to be more automation than we used to have, and it's more appropriately labeled. So I hope you guys think that's cool, but that's minor compared to a lot of the other stuff we're doing here. Linked Injector. So the Linked Injector system is named Linked Injector because what we're doing is we're taking these links. These are links that we have pulled in from the map, and they've been in the manage. We've exported these links from the merge, and we or the manage, either one. And now we want to run the invite, and this is also in the free version of the Success Spy. Okay, so there's multiple ways to run the invites, but this is really I think the best way. So what we do is we merge everything, we put it into a single file, and then we use the selector and we select because there can often be 3,000-4,000 of these links here. We select which ones we're going to do. Don't do 100. Don't do more than 100 at a time, and you have to keep track of this. So if you've got 2,000 here, it's going to be days before you're done. Now, typically you don't want to invite more than 100 people a day, but if you've already got their link and you're running the invite, you can do 100. So you just go in there and select it, and then after you've got these selected, then click inject, and so it will pull up a browser, and you can do this manually anytime. You can just copy this link here, paste it into a browser, and wham, it goes right to that person's profile, showing LinkedIn that, hey, you already had the link, and maybe you got it from Google or wherever, or they emailed it to you, and now you're going to go ahead and invite them to connect. So very cool little system. Again, this is in the free version because when we sell the data to our clients, then we can give them that free version to deploy what we're doing. All right, so just showing you really quick, Success Spy, the free version, it's got the Linked Injector, and the Instagram and Twitter follows right there. So that's the Linked Injector. I'm going to move over to Instagram follow really quick. So in the same manner as LinkedIn and the Linked Injector, here we can collect, and then we can also deploy the data. So I have a single person here. You do have to select this, all right, before you run this. So you go to Instagram, you find a link of somebody that you want to target. You paste it in here, you click add, and then you select it. From there, you set the download limit. All right, now I don't know what the limit is on Instagram. I've done 20,000 and there was no problem. I believe that there is no limit, but I'm not sure we want to pull down more than 50,000 at a clip, so just keep that in mind. So with download limit, so you just set this to 5,000 or 50,000 or whatever you're going to set it to. All right, and we can't check the how many followers each one has on the collection process, but on the follow process we can. All right, if that makes sense. So when we're downloading, we can't check and see, well, does this person have at least 200 followers, meaning they have an active account. But when we go to follow, we hit this button, it will check to see if there's at least 200 followers before it will follow them. And that's how this operates here. Okay, follow limit per day is 200. You can't go over 200 on either Instagram or Twitter unless you want to get your account in trouble. So my best suggestion is to do 190 per day when you do follow. All right. Now we go in, we get in there, we get in the link, get it into the grid here, and we set the download limit, and then we simply click the play button. It will log into our Instagram account. It will navigate over to this person's link. It will go to their followers, and it will just download them. So once we have them here, all right, then the next step is to follow them. So we select follow, and we set it to 190 per day, and then we click the follow button. Now, if you want to use this female only, okay, it's going to wipe out male names. It is not perfect, but it will wipe out the vast majority. You select them and then click female only, and it will wipe out the males. Now, I've been asked to do this, to be able to do this, so that we can target females specifically for female coaches and or female authors or speakers, people that are targeting female only, and that's why it exists. If you're not into that, then just disregard it. So the merge here is if you load multiple files. So let's say that you've developed several files and you want to move them in to here. Instead of following, you want to just load them in here. You can go in and just load each file. Let's say you've got 3 or 4 of them, and then click the merge button. What that will do then is it will dedupe those files. Okay, and so I could have called this button dedupe, but merge sounds better, and it is what it's doing. So anyway, that is what the merge does. Okay, so when you pull this data down, all right, you can select it and you can save it. And once you do that for several different links that you've got here, then you would go back, and if you're ready to set it up so that you can sell it, or set it up so that you're going to follow it, which it may take you, a month or two to be able to finish following all of these people, if indeed, that's what you want to do at that time. Then you just load them all in, you click the merge, and you can export it back out, okay, and save it, and then email that file to the person that has the free version so that they can deploy it. And then they're going to go into their Instagram here, and there's no collection process, all right. They're just going to load your file. It's going to pull up in the grid, and then they're going to begin following. Okay, and that's how you acquire and deploy highly targeted data for money. So Twitter is similar. One last thing, the unfollow. Okay, so if you're going to unfollow, then what you want to do is you want to select the unfollow, and you want to set this to about 500. All right, select about 500, and then when you've got that selected, then click this follow button, and it will unfollow them instead. Okay. On the Twitter, it's very similar. We've got the merge function. You can save and then merge and then export if you want. The difference is here is that this is not unlimited. Okay, now technically it could be, but Twitter gets a little bit twitchy after about 3,000. So keep that in mind. I don't want anybody's accounts to be suspended. And I suppose you could plead that your account was hacked or something, but we don't know how far we can go. on Twitter. Typically, if you're working with Twitter, they have their own API, and you can download 3,000. Used to be 5,000 years ago. So that is why I say don't do more than 3,000 on Twitter. Okay. Now, as we download, we can check the minimum followers, all right, on Twitter. We can't on Instagram, but we can on Twitter. So we're going to be checking these to make sure as we go that there's at least 200 in each of them. So that we can do. So if you are a little bit aggressive, you want people that are more active and or influencers, you could change this to 1,000, and then you can tell your client, hey, you know, I can get you influencers, people that have more than 1,000 followers, or you can change that to whatever you want, 5,000 or whatever, so that when you do connect, when you do run the download, you're only collecting people that have more than 1,000 followers. This can be very valuable. It's impressive that you can go out and filter out, you know, people from 10 different links that are influencers. And there's definitely people that are interested in scanning and finding influencers in their niche. So you can build lists of only influencers in that manner. All right. So you can do it with Instagram, but we just have to do it on the follow instead. So you can't instantly build a list. You've got to follow it to be able to build that list. Same effect, but you know, we can't collect the number of followers on download, unfortunately. So anyway, the same with as Instagram. We just put in the link, and then we click add. We select it. You have to select it, and then we set the download limit. Do not do more than 3,000, and I suggest that you don't do more than 1,000 at a time. So you can do 1,000 and then come back the next day, and as long as you leave this in the grid, then you can just hit the play button again and download the next 1,000. It may take a few minutes, but it's a little safer to do it that way. So one thing I don't want is anybody to get their account suspended, and so we just want to make sure that female only is the same. Select and click female only if that's what you want. Merge is the same. You load the files, and then you click merge, and it dedupes them, and then you can export for sale. Follow limit per day, again, I would stick with 190. Follow, unfollow, basically the same thing. If you want to unfollow, you know, you can unfollow. Don't set it to more than 500. And again, you can use the selector to do that. If you need to delete a certain person, click and delete. That's like any of our you know, Instagram or any of our other products. That's the little delete icon, and it's, you know, pretty much that simple. You know, if you want to promote your MLM, and you know you're doing CBD, and you go out there and you find some heavy hitter in CBD, and you pull down 2,000 of their Twitter fans or Twitter followers, then you know, you can just do this yourself. You can go ahead and follow them and begin building a market to them. So anyway, that is all of this basic stuff. Two more things. All right, the domain data. So if you set this to all and you put in a term, I like to use market. You can put in network marketing or MLM or whatever. What it's doing is it is finding the domains from our database of more than 1 million domains that have that term inside the name of the domain. Okay, so if you put in chiropractor or chiropractic more exactly, or chiropr or whatever, it's going to scan and match those names so that you get the person and their email and address and phone number and everything that purchased that domain. So these are domain purchasers. So you set the limit to 1,000. Yes, you can do more than 1,000, and then you just simply click search, and it will go in and then pull up all of these domains. Okay, and you see all of the different people. So you've got the domain name. So market, see 12per market.com was the first one here, and then basically you've got different dates, and you've got the address, city, state, zip, email, phone, and name. All right. So some people ask me, well, are you going to update this data? The answer is yes, but I want to get this software launched. Right now, this is ultra high quality data that you can get in 10 seconds. So it's absolutely fantastic data. And you can sell the data, of course, as well, because you can just export it to CSV or Excel right there. All right. Anyway, hypercontact. This is the beginning of our next phase in messaging on LinkedIn. Very cool tech here. You click Get Group, brings in all of your groups, and then this is a system where you can message these people. I will add the ability to invite as well in the future. But right now, what we're doing here is we can search for, in this case, let's say a coach, or let's say business coach, which is what I did in this search. Location, the search that I used was Dallas. And then I have a choice to message or not message. So the first couple of times you do this, what you want to do is, and this is important because of how it works, which I will explain in a moment, is you want to come in here, set the limit to 100, or you could do 50 if you really want to. Remember, there's a page view for each operation that you do in this software. And just hit play, and what you will do is it'll bring in people that have groups, and then it will go in and pull in all of their groups, and it will display the top 30. So what you're doing at this moment, the first couple of times you use it, is you're finding out what groups your target market here has in common that you should join. Simple as that. Now, I was a little surprised because there were several groups here that I did not belong to, even though I've done all kinds of searches on LinkedIn for groups for coaches and had joined several of them already. So I learned something the first moment that I did this. So there is a bunch of groups, and look at this one. There's almost 2 million people in the Social Mediopolis group. Okay, so marketing social media, 808,000 large groups that these people belong to. All right, so why do you do this first? Well, how this operates is it matches the groups that you're in with the groups that your target market is in, and then it logs in and it messages them, logs into the group and messages them immediately. So what this does is it takes away the need for us to go through the different profiles inside of a group and to be able to filter out certain people, which we really can't do. unless we use the group builder in a certain way. You can, without messaging, you can pull in, and if you want to take the time, you can delete all the people that don't match the titles that you want. But this automates the process of us being able to go in and to message the people in our target market in groups without sorting or anything. Now, the more groups that you join, remember you can join up to 100, but you cannot join more than 10 per day. The groups that you join are going to be huge for you in connecting with your target market anyway. We will be doing more in groups very quickly here with another type of connection process into groups, using our ability to connect with posters, and that is huge as well. So we're going to be integrating several things, but this is where we're at the moment. So what you want to do is you want to go in, not message, and then after you do that, the next day come in and let's change this to, let's say, Seattle, and do the same thing. All right. And so you would go in and you would clear all of these, and then delete these, and then come back and do another city. After you do a couple of cities where you've got 100 from each, and you connect to those groups, all of which will take you 3 or 4 days, then you can begin to see a larger connection through groups to your target market, business coaches in this case. Then you want to go back and you want to set this limit to 100 again, and put in whatever location you really want to go to and select message. When you do that, then it will go in and it will do the same thing with the groups and pull up these ones. I'm going to have the programmer very quickly, hopefully tonight. This is the 22nd of July. Hopefully tonight, to change this so that it blues the groups that we are already matches, the ones that we have, so that we're already a member of. This will help us sort through these faster. So I believe in practice you're going to have to connect with 20 to 30 groups to get a really good overview spread of the different groups that you want to belong to in order to properly target your target market. Now, you don't have to use this, but when you're looking for clients to sell to in this data, this is going to be a very invaluable resource, because it allows you to go in and target specific market niches and to message them directly without doing invitations. Okay? And so this will speed up the process of being able to connect with people that are going to purchase your data, and that's why it's in here. So we have several updates and upgrades to make, and so far this is a great system, but we're going to make it even better, and of course I'm eliciting your help to do that. So I hope that this was very informative. And the last thing is that if you do click this and it says message, then it will go ahead and message them. But the reason there's a message button down here is that if you don't message and you bring these people in and then you want to go back and message them, that's when you use the message button. All right. I'm sure that everything is perfectly clear. Anyway, I hope to talk to some of you on the phone and answer your questions via email. As we move forward, there'll be a lot of updates and upgrades to this. And we, right now I'm building successspy.com. where you can go in and you can download the free version of the Success Spy. So if you haven't done that yet and you've got the old version that required a code, please go in and uninstall the old one that required a code. Go to successpy.com, sign up, make sure to verify your email. You may have to check your spam. Verify your email and set up your account. And then when you do that, that's where our training and stuff is going to be. And then what happens is, instead of requiring a code, all right, you'll be able to access the Success Spy free version, which you ideally want both versions, so that you can play with it, and that way you'll understand better how all of this integrates in receives the data and uses it and everything. Just make sure that you understand that you're using the username and password of the website that you set up in order to log into this. So you'll be able to download the Success Spy free version from that website, from successpy.com. When you launch it, it will ask for your username and your password, and those are the usernames and passwords that you set up at successpy.com, so you don't need a code anymore. Anyway, that concludes our overview, and I hope that everybody is going to make a lot of money with this software. I've already made thousands of dollars selling this stuff, so selling the data, and I will be setting up a promo video so that you can show that to your clients as well. All right, sky's the limit, and thank you for watching.